can the United States fall into a dictatorship under the presidency of Donald Trump?
All coup attempts are the rehearsal for another coup attempt. So in my judgment, January 6th was an attempted coup that Donald Trump played a major role in being responsible for. And so whenever someone attempts a coup one time and are allowed to get away with it, I think that there's a likelihood for them to try again. And so it's not far-fetched. He said he wanted to be a dictator for one day. But I don't know many dictators who actually are able to become dictators and then they give it up. Mm-hmm. So I think it's highly unlikely that if he's a dictator for a day that he's going to give it up. That's not the tradition of dictators. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that we should all learn from Donald Trump is he means what he says. Right? He said that he was going to end abortion in the United States, and he appointed a Supreme Court that did that. Right? Mm-hmm. So what he said, he does. And so I think people ought to take him at his word. He was given a speech not long ago, and he said he was speaking to a far-right Christian group, and he said, you know, if y'all just get out and vote one more time, you won't even have to worry about elections anymore. Mm-hmm. That a public figure said that out of their mouth in front of thousands of people and is still being allowed to seek the presidency, in addition to the Supreme Court decisions that have now given him immunity. So, you know, I don't want to be a downer for what I know is typically an upbeat podcast.
No, I think that I think people need to hear it. This is
one of those moments where you really got to slow down and understand that this is different. We're at a different moment that you really do need to get everybody in your house to vote. And then we can go back to having normal elections where we're arguing about traditional Republican versus Democrat policies.
I think that why it is different right now is because for a lot of people and a lot of young people looking at someone like Donald Trump, and when you call him and people call him Teflon Don, he's gotten away with so much. So yeah, we do question when a felon cannot even have the right to vote, how can a convicted felon have the right to run for presidency? Now we know that there's no laws. Hopefully the next administration can change a few things on the rules of being able to run for president, but we've never seen this before. So it feels like he can get away with anything. So it is scary, and it does make you feel like, wow, does my vote count and matter? But why has he been Teflon Don to be able to get away with so much? Why do the rules not apply to him?
Well, I think that he is a powerful white man in the United States of America. But I don't think he's been as Teflon as people give him credit for. He got beat. He's a loser. He ran for re-election. 81 million people fired him. He got beat. Mm-hmm. He's going to get beat again. And while I don't think that laws have been applied in the manner that they would, the big question is, he's an ex-president, 2-time impeached. He's a convicted felon. The case that convicted him was brought by a black man. Letitia James brought a $500 million lawsuit against him and won, right? Jean Carroll brought a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against him and won. So that doesn't sound like the Teflon Don to me. That sounds like a hype man, a good promoter. Mm-hmm. But when you get to it, he keeps losing. And he's going to lose again. So I'm going to stay over here in the university and we're going to see.